Good morning and welcome to today's live show. Oh, wait, we got to get those daily expected moves in the bottom right corner for you so you can see them for the SPY and the Qs as we click around a bunch during a lot of these videos. Notice that GME took a dump, and where the hell is Richard? Because if he had those puts on GME, my goodness, that dude is rolling in it right now. Looks like they diluted or something in shares. They did a share offering or something like that. So those are always going to be bearish in the short term. They can be a good thing in the long term, but I'm sure everyone's going to be pissed about that. So that's just going to be fun. Let me go ahead and snap the daily expected moves real quick so we can get them in the bottom right corner, guys. Give me 1 second. What? We need the Qs in there too. Got them. All right, let's go put those up. Boom, 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 boom. There we go. 606.37. Perfect. Now, for today, I just wanted to talk about this for the SPY. Something you're asking about the move for the SPY. Something I really want to do closely here is watch that 5-minute as we are at the 5-day moving average. One thing to look at from this 5-minute and the behavior of it is price action wise, it's going pretty well. So something you will look for is if you trust an indicator, right? We trust that the 5-day is a good general area to pay attention. We don't necessarily want to break through and see a downtrend below that level. Well, at times around there, you're going to see roll down, but the time where you're actually worried about this is when it breaks and then it makes the new low. All right, you need to see price action break down through this. That's one thing about price action that I do understand, and it's about a certain line that you do trust, meaning the 5-day moving average. So we look at the SPY, and if you look at the SPY on the 5-minute, what is it suggesting at this point? Well, it does have the formations of divergence. Okay, this has the formations of divergence. The only thing that you don't have is you didn't go make a new high. So if you're still making new lows here, we're going to pay attention to what? Well, if the 5-minute spikes down below the 5-day, but we don't see that roll again to show us that new low, well, then we can sit here and pay attention to it, and we can pay attention to this divergence here, see if we just tap our head down for a moment, see if it's able to catch itself. This would all be good things to pay attention to in the morning to see if you can catch that move to 606, where you could just see like one good 5-minute move, and then you could just dry run this thing up to 606. 37, just like we did the last time, right? We can just do something like this, and it can be really boring all the way into Friday. So just be aware that that can take place. You're not necessarily getting the best things. My personal opinion is the same as the beginning of the week. As we continue to just see those little bumps up, bumps up, bumps up, my assessment hasn't changed. I think that the market still in this area needs to see a big move to the upside, or else you're just walking yourself into some kind of trap. And we do also, I did look into what things could we utilize for a trap because they don't talk about Vixpiration. Next Wednesday on Vixpiration, you will get that Fed interest rate, the FOMC economic projections, and the Fed press conference. So if you walk yourself up to some kind of trap by that kind of timing, I would be a little bit cautious. But we can turn down before there. So it's like, are we going to be at a low on that day? Are we going to be at a high on right before that day? That's going to be something I'm paying attention to. Big OpEx coming out next week. So the 5-minute more so, what do we want to see here? Well, if you want to be bullish today, you want to see it break that high, then you want to see it come down, then you want to see it break through, then you want to see it come down, then you want to see it break through, right? That would be the best case scenario. But if that is going to lead to some kind of trap, we need to be paying attention. Why? Because the 30-minute. If the 30-minute is able to make a divergence here, I'm not going to trust it anymore. I'm going to say this is going to be a 30-minute divergence that then curls down. That is something I want to be heavily, heavily aware of at this point. If there is a 30-minute divergence here, it is a big deal because volatility is at a high. At a way higher high. You are up above these type of levels. Look what happens if the SPY goes and makes a divergence and volatility collapses even lower, right? It can come all the way down into here and still curl up into positive territory. So today, you have a very high likelihood if you are not able to squeeze and smash volatility down, but instead the 30 minutes able to curl back up, the SPY is able to make a divergence, I would be very freaking cautious after today if we see those type of looks. I will point them out. If I'm not live at the end of the day, I will point them out on Patreon. I will try to snap pictures of them if I see it, but this is something I'd heavily be aware of. If you are a bull, I think you would rather actually see this come down into these levels and find a buy. Just that little bit of space there to take you negative, to give you that little bit of oomph, right? That trampoline bounce so that you can squeeze a bit higher. That's what I would like to see, or squeeze right now. Do not make a 30-minute divergence. You need to smash, smash, smash volatility today. If you do not do that, you're at some serious risk. Hey guys, I'm going to leave you guys on here real quick. I'm going to go fill up my coffee cup. Give me a couple minutes, watch the open here. I will be right back in a moment, and I'm going to charge my mouse for a sec too. Be right back. Say good morning, get some shout outs going. Tell us your plays, tell us your plan actually. If you're going to shout out a play right now that you're trying to take, you're like, hey, I'm going to try to execute on this. Tell us your exact plan. Try to type it out. Just say, this is my plan. This is my plan for if it's going wrong. Do some practice today, all right, guys? Or just chit chat. You guys know, you do your thing. Be right back. All right, what are those things looking like? What you guys got out there? We got Microsoft put, sell the rip on open. My plan to monitor Apple and Amazon losing now. I would look for counter trend moves now in case this trap does set up. Apple had the Apple gave me management, and I can't be confident in that 30-minute anymore. You notice this. Notice what we just talked about. Apple broke this, rolled it once, rolled it twice. I'm not happy with Apple right now. I'm really not happy with Apple, actually. I think that you could see a 30-minute move. That 30-minute move is not in any way guaranteed to come back. So what do you need here for Apple to be good again? You need the 2-hour to get going, right? You need the 2-hour to come back. Now, all of this is like bad as far as technicals go. You're doing what? You're rolling beneath your moving averages, right? What happens here when that does take place? Well, if I could, sorry, I'm charging my mouse. Right here, you see, roll, roll, roll. So now it's much easier for people to short, right? It's much easier to see the short positions that you can take. All you do is you look for the 30 minutes to rotate up to that 5-day moving average, and then you look for that thing to roll, like even if you use 5-minute skills. So the management for the trade came in, and I just saw this big red bar, and I was like, oh, I ain't playing around with that thing. Like something's off here. Sorry, I had to text wifey back real quick. All right. So yeah, I don't think you're happy with Apple. I think management for the trade was triggered, and you just have to say, damn, didn't work out, right? That's just one of those ones. At least you say this, right? Oh, I understand my skills, so should be out. And then you run down to here and you're like, okay, well, at least I saved some of my money, right? You made the attempt, and I think that's perfectly fine. You could even say as the low breaks, you start to get more worried. Let me see if I can turn this mouse on. It's too hard to click around on this thing. See if I can pull this over. At least sort of use it. There we go. At least sort of. Stuff like NVIDIA. You want to be very careful with these type of things, but look for the 30-minute to curl up one more time. This is where you need to squeeze, right? We kind of need to squeeze here, bulls. Because even if you squeeze, and for whatever reason you see a top at that 606.37, VIX will be putting in a higher low. All right, I'm going to draw that out for you once this damn mouse charges. IYC, man, yeah, very, very good. Ooh, AMC. Did you see GME? You see this thing? This thing is just cratering. It went through both zones. So do you think that's good for this? No, it's very, very bad. Now, where could this be heading? As far as I can see it, you're going to head all the way down to where you could have made a right shoulder that could have been at the very original point. Do you know where that is? That's all the way down. I'm sorry, I'm still kind of charged this mouse right here. 2157. I believe the exact level to pay attention to that I marked off on my other charts is $22. Richard, did you make wait, did you short a G you shorted GME, didn't you? Didn't you say you were shorting all or no, you were just shorting AMC. And AMC is supposed to $3. $3 is the point for AMC. Yeah. So $3 for AMC. Oh, hell yeah, Richard. That's so awesome. Oh, that's fun. Proud of you, buddy. That's great. Now let me shift things around. Yeah, so for this one, you can come all the way down in here. If you want to be serious about it, it can come all the way down into 272. If it really wants to. I don't think it wants to go down that low, so I think you're looking at 281. Nvidia not giving the good confirmations. Apple giving good confirmations though. Even as price action goes, you already took care of business. You needed to go here. Now it's like got the roll in it. Ew, god dang it, Apple, why you do that to us? Because this doesn't, I mean, if anything, it's like, ooh, ooh, oh no. Don't do it, Apple. I will tell you though, if Apple does like collapse, it'll be very interesting for it to come down and retest these levels and we see what happens. So you need to squeeze today. That's how I see it. If you come down first, that's fine, right? Come down first, but I'm gonna do 5 minutes today. We're gonna do 5 minutes today. Yeah, you're holding divergence points. Yeah, we'll watch this today, right here. We'll get this close. Are you in Apple? No, no, no. That management for the trade happened yesterday. The big ass red bar that crossed down the MACD, RSI, and confirmed below there, and made a new low with price action all at the same time. Like that was definitely it. But I had to go once again, just more and more things. I don't know what's up with this month. Like I said, I should never tell the world that I am going on vacation in June again, because then yesterday I'm like, oh, I gotta watch this close. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. Nope, can't do it because mama's still sick and I have to take baby girl to get her shots. And holy crap, that was a scary thing because I've never done it before. My wife always does that. So it's been a rough week for me. but I had to manage that one. And then I was just like, okay, I part of me is thinking about just sitting on the sideline completely because like I'm just waiting for the next shoe to drop today and having to go out and do something else. What do you think about GME? I think it's a bear trap. I think it's a get the bulls out of their positions, like scare retail. That's what it is. It's supposed to be like retail never sees it happening again, and then it just comes back. I think it'll just cross up on the daily. If you want my honest opinion, I think it just goes right now. Like this is complete shakeout. So, but that's coming from a guy who's just holding on to it, right? You haven't heard me ever really do too many options with GME. I'll do it with AMC because it's dirt cheap. Like literally $100 goes on freaking 10 miles over there. $500 is what I always do, and that goes like across the whole state or something. So GME, I just hold on to it. So take my analysis with a grain of salt if you're thinking about doing an option. I think that from here, you could remain down here for a little while, right? And then you could start to go up. That's what I think down here. If you want to even make a new low, that's possible, but I don't think you want to, right? We're raising floors for a long time. This is a floor here. Bam, bam. Okay, do it over here, then go up. That's my opinion. But like I said, I'm invested in it, so there's bias there. Not towards option plays. There's this right here that's still positive, while this is starting to almost go negative. You're going to look for this huge gap. We'll most likely see some sort of retracement to at least reject and find those sellers again. So you're very likely to like start bouncing soon, pretty much. And if this is a shakeout, then I think that it'll go up again. I think it'll just go right back up to like $29. Yeah, if you're just like managing your options at the right times and then overall holding the stock, then it's really not difficult decision making. I see 22 as the level, Richard. It's what, 22 or it was 2080, I think. What about Tesla? Yeah, we can go look at Tesla real quick. Tesla, same thing, needs to squeeze, right? Now, Tesla actually bought a lot of room here. This is fantastic. Didn't remember what we said? That's kind of crazy. That's kind of wild. Yeah, so Tesla's doing good things here. It actually is. It's taking back a lot of the things that you broke down from the 2 hours trying to get to that center line. So all you're worried about is some kind of flash sell, right? Flash sell type thing like this, and then you just go right back up. So for the 30-minute, I think you continue for now, and then we got to see what happens. So I think you continue until you see if you get to here. If you stop at 342, 343, and you start to roll, right, then you're going to have divergence saying the 2 hour needs to pull back. And then your price to actually get in is probably over here again with a 2 hour pullback. Right? So volatility as well, that turning up of volatility. Let's talk about that with Tesla in consideration. This looks like the more probable scenario to me. And then you go up. That looks more probable to me. So something we need to talk about with this volatility is we look at the 2 hour chart, right? If the 2 hour chart does cross up, right? Crosses up, crosses up, crosses up, but then curls down and goes negative. We could start everything all over again. You could see this, into this, into this. All right? That would be what Tesla would really like from volatility. And that's what the market would really like there. Unless Tesla's going to run completely inverse to the market. So what I'm saying here is pretty much the 30-minute sets this up. Then you 2 hour pullback. But then you actually start to head up higher into the later stages of June. Then you see if that divergence shows its head. All right, so these are multiple things that haven't happened yet, but these are just some scenarios to be aware of, right? These are to get your ideas going and just be like, okay, so if we make a 30-minute divergence here, what do we always say about 30-minute divergence? Well, what does 30-minute divergence cause? The 2 hour to turn down, right? The 2 hour to turn down. Well, the SPY on the 2 hour has a lot of room here. Okay, so if we see that swing up at any time, we need to realize this is still positive, even if it's like this. All right. The 30-minute for the time being could continue that move, and that's why we're watching the 5-minute. But I just wanted to discuss some of that stuff with you guys, really break it down. Gold does look like it wants to break out as well. So remember, the daily pullback trade is always going to be on. It's going to be good stuff. But GLD was kind of piling up, and I saw it on the 2 hour able to break, I believe. Yeah, look at this. Perfect behavior here. Literally pitch perfect behavior here as far as price action goes. You take the bulk of what was really messing with you all the time, right? You take a lot of that. You just find the areas where you get chopped. I probably need to go over that a little bit more, but we do see here we peak out. Oh, we drop a little bit lower. We peak out. We hold the top side, and then we go again. Gold does look like it wants to break out. So let's really watch for a 30-minute divergence today. What do you guys say? Let's go. Let me go deeper into that real quick. Let's go to futures. Let's see what's like trendy for like today. Oh, holy shit. Okay. Okay. And this is 4 hours positive now. 4 hours positive now. You really want to see the new high. This right here can tell you a lot about gold as far as like, will it go bullish? Any kind of break of here is a good sign, but expect that to pull down, right? You see it? You guys see this, right? You see this over here, and you go left, head, right shoulder that could have been, and then you start screaming. Then gold starts going up. So you might have a little window of time here into June 20th, June 18th, where gold goes up for now and then pulls back. If it breaks through and just goes, well, let's look out for that 30-minute divergence for the SPY and 30-minute higher low for volatility. Okay? Thank you for pointing out gold. Really appreciate that. Gold's always good to pay attention to. I am lagging like a dragon. Let's click through these. Apple suffering. Tesla chilling. This is very likely to get a lower high for Amazon right here or here. Probably 216 if it's a good enough reaction. Watch out for that. This would be the moment you need to squeeze, or else you are in the continuation of downside, right? You're at least seeing a 2 hour pullback. So if this wants to continue but be a 2 hour pullback, bam. If this wants to continue to, say, like sell off, well, you need the 2 hour to do a lot of work here. You need the 2 hour to like lose this, come up to here, lose that, and then keep going. One more time. Amazon, interesting. NVIDIA. I think that NVIDIA is still holding up very, very well. You look for the divergence today, though. You look for a rejection here at 144.80 and the roll. And then you look for this, and then you'll retest up into these type of levels, and then you'll probably fail that move again. So this needs to squeeze, right? The thing that invalidates a lot of what I'm talking about, any kind of divergence here, some kind of trap that breaks the low, anything that I'm talking about here gets solved by doing what? Just go for an extended period of time, and then you totally reset this MACD, and you totally reset the RSI. So you need to squeeze here. If you don't, you're at risk of seeing bad things. And I think you're already seeing the risk of bad things forming all around you. So pay attention to those bad things. And if the bad things start to say, yes, we are here, then you react. And I think that's the best you can do. That's the best I'm going to do. Tempest, you do have 30-minute divergence. Hold on. Okay, Tempest, you do have 30-minute divergence on your RSI. You have a 30-minute almost flat. I think it's slightly up on the MACD. So you have one indicator. So out of the reasons you can't necessarily use MACD, you want to treat MACD as like, hey, okay, that could still be a 30-minute pullback is what the MACD is saying. Your RSI is saying we want to reverse down and get a 2-hour to turn down. Your 30-minute on the MACD is saying, okay, we could still be pulling back. So you're always aware that this can happen. But for the most part, whenever that does happen, you have to scale up pretty dramatically. You don't want to form that divergence at the same time. So you want to see that and get a good move. Squeeze. Or the signals are going to be correct on the RSI, and you are going to turn down on your 2-hour chart and pull back. Where could you pull back down into? Well, you could pull back slowly down into $64. You could pull back slowly down into like, I don't know, I think it's like $59 or something, or $59, $50, $60. And you could still make a higher low. You might want to make trend as well. And just be like, okay, maybe if I trust this trend, I can say, okay, this right here is the lowest I want to get, 63. And then maybe we curl up and we're able to figure our stuff out. Maybe it takes a long time to get there as well, so that we're nice and curvy on that MACD before we actually are able to curl up, right? Maybe it looks something like this. Bam, on your MACD. That is the more probable thing to happen right now, is this right here. Just so you are aware, that is the more probable thing to happen. Whether you go make another point of divergence, whether you make a lower high, whether you do whatever, this is the more probable scenario. So if that 30-minute curls up, what invalidates all of this? What invalidates this happening? Squeeze through, and then you raise that floor, right? And then you kind of change that direction probably a bit. You start to move more up. All right, that's what I see for Tempest. I see a 2-hour pullback unless we squeeze, showing the 30-minute cannot make divergence. That's what I see. How the boys doing over there? Hey, it's coming. It's coming back into the zone that it's going to have to break right back through. That's going to be rough. Yeah, it's going to take its time now. It should. DJT breaking down. Still coming into the gap? Really? SoFi looking like 30-minute pullback at the least. These things got to squeeze, man. Palantir just looks like 30-minute pullback. It could get a little aggressive. Yeah, Palantir looks like 30-minute pullback, 2-hour pullback. Most likely scenarios there. I don't see anything really, really bad for Palantir, weirdly enough. AVGO. I think you want to break through a little bit here. 2-hour able to curl. 2-hour able to curl. Holding. All right, 30-minute rotates down. Are you scared yet? It doesn't look like it's in a scary spot anymore to me. I think if the 30-minute rolls, well, this was probably pretty important, but you can come all the way down into here. You're still at the availability to do this before you do that. And there's your cup and handle. That's how you get going. That's how you set the daily trap. That's how you set like the OPEX trap. Kind of get that curl down today, show it bouncing. Then you start to head up. Head up. Head up. Uh-oh. Head up. Oh, roll. Then we see something a little ugly. Maybe it's uglier than we thought. Then we curl back up. That's how this would like to behave. In a perfect world with the signals you have now, this is exactly how it behaves. In a perfect world, this is exactly what you see. I might even leave it there, see if we get that eventually. JP Morgan, serious risk here, serious rejection risk, serious drop risk right now. The 2-hour is not holding really divergence right now. You're trying to head up still. You're still holding uptrend. You do have it like extended across, probably on bigger charts, say like 4-hour. So I'd be watching this 4-hour, and if you get a solid confirmation from the 4-hour, it means you're at risk of losing recent trend. And if you lose a recent trend and you want to break down for a while, you might see something like this come into this zone. It might be a bigger thing like this. That would be interesting. Face out by earnings mid-July. All right, but let's go back over to the SPY. Let's look at this thing. Let's go into a 5-minute chart, see what's going on for now. See if we're going to start some kind of uptrend. Looks like it. We were able to make the divergence point without violating anything on the 5-minute. That is a very good start. What do we need to see? We need it to break above. You want it to break above both, I think, right now. But just breaking above this is good. Breaking above both is way better. You just see good positive bar, right? You see maybe a retest and then it just keeps going. That's what you want here. Oil, oil, very, very nice. USO. So USO, very good call out. USO, if you don't recall, we were talking about oil maybe catching a bid from this type of area and able to try to get to this zone. Oil looks like it is going to do what? It is either going to get to here and reject and pull back. And if that pullback is aggressive, then this could be an interesting area to really pay attention because yields look like they want to go up, but they're probably going to have to cut rates soon. Or oil's going to break through the zone. Now, it is very likely that oil is going to test the center of this. So paying attention to, hey, do we get above that and then we curl down to pull back and we see that thing able to scoop back up, that can be a great thing, right? So the bullish ways higher, this is one of them. This is the other one, right? A little higher up. That can come deeper as long as we're positive on your MACD. You see that? Not going to be a problem. So this looks like oil wants to get going. How it fails is it taps its head into here and falls too much. All right. 4-hour chart. What do we look like right now? Hey, if we touch into that zone, are we really worried? We already did. We already did. So what could happen here? Another flagging, right? Another one of these, another one of these, maybe to take care of a gap, and then we just turn right back up. Wham, wham, you just go again. Now you look out for divergence here. You want this to go up more. You go up more, it means higher probability of continuation if you get a daily pullback. We do not see daily pullback signals yet, so this is still good. Your 2-hour could continue the move even now. We could get to that zone, see that 4-hour pullback, then break through, then get a daily pullback. That's how it could behave. That's how crazy this thing could get. I like it. I think 4-hour pullback is your next real opportunity. Oh, I coughed and moved the SPY. Head and shoulders. Yeah, you could potentially say that with this over here. I think you're set and you want to see new high. What up? What up, Duranto? Sorry, and I thought you switched your name once. I can't remember. Meta. We haven't looked at Meta yet. Let's go check out Meta. Meta's at serious risk as well of seeing something bad. It's starting to see something bad. No, like there are 2-hour divergences on your RSI. You have 2-hour divergence extended across, probably from the 4-hour is more that perspective. So you'd say 4-hour crosses a lot worse, right? You'd say this is worse. Now, just note that the 4-hour can catch itself anywhere in here. So what you want to look at is that 2-hour because it's still positive. And if you're in this and you're short, you're happy with it. You're looking at this level right here. A break at that level, you'd say this is a great first leg. And then you're probably going to catch a bounce at some point to try to retest something, right? So now you're going to be in that game of like the 4 hour could be retesting while the 2 hours pulling back. So at this moment, you're just inclined to do what? Watch your 2 hour and be like, okay, do I see any inclination of the 2 hour being able to curl up into positive territory still? Right? Because to be really bearish, you have to like do this, and then you have to come up and retest at some point to do it again and make a new low, right? That's how head and shoulders forms. That's why we talk about head and shoulders. That's why cup and handles form, all kinds of things like that. Okay, so if you notice in here, there's this. So you just go, okay, and then we have up here, and then you go down to here, you break that, then you curl up, you retest, and you reject again. Do you see what I'm talking about? The roll is what tells you that it's going to continue to be bearish, right? And then you can't make divergence or anything that looks like you can turn around, right? So these levels in here, I would seriously be watching even a 30-minute, seeing if we go through something bad for a period of time. You come down like this, and then it goes up to do that retest, but it holds up better. And then you're able to curl up into positive territory, and you see a little 30-minute divergence there, right? If not, you are more likely to just continue downside, right? If this isn't deep enough or something like that, or it goes like deeper, and you make that divergence over here, 2 hour retest, fall again. Like a lot of this screams weakness now, but it gets a lot weaker when you lose these levels in here. You have more risk of downside, and then you're hoping for divergence at that point. And you're not in it, right? You're never hoping, right? Because you shouldn't be in it unless there's a divergence or a higher low, right? We shouldn't be in any long unless there's a good reason to be in those longs. So there's no good reason to be in a long right now for Meta, not on the 30-minute, not on the 2 hour. The only reason it would be probably good is like in case you get a counter trend move for a moment. Like here is where here is literally the first area where the 2 hour would want to go, but you're breaking down. I think you're in for at least one more move down. So 2 hours, if you want to treat it, let's do it the simple way. You want to talk about it, the simple plan. Hey, if the 2 hour curls up and I see my reasons for a swing trade, don't I take it? If this 2 hour goes down to here and then curls up to here, and I see that go like that, and I see these go up, I see this go up, and prices above all of that, then I see this curled up and this curled up. You know, I'm pretty happy with the play at that point. I'm like, yeah, it's a swing trade. It's a 2 hour swing for now. Even if the daily's pulling down, right? It's still a 2 hour swing for now. I don't even need to look at those. Let's look at this guy. 5 minute wasn't able to break through. No bueno, SPY. Today the MACD wants to pull back. Well, you're trying to, you know, if you're waiting for daily pullback, I wouldn't even be at my computer right now. Howard, thanks for subscribing. If I was waiting for a daily pullback, if I was waiting for the daily pullback, I would just be gone. I would be out of here. And I would be out of here soon, right? I had literally a vacation next week for this exact reason. So I didn't have to play any kind of daily pullback, any kind of anything. I'm just like chilling, maybe going to a casino and then being like, okay, cool. Come back like late next week and just be like, all right, sick. Are we daily pulling back yet? Oh, we're not. We're making a topping signal. Ooh, I can take a $500 short right there at the monthly expected move. Do you see how good of a plan that was for my June? And lost 800 RMP. That's how it works, though. You got to have your goals for when you're out. The best thing to do with gambling is take $200 every time you go, and then if you make money on the two, you say I made money on the two. If you lose the two, you're out. You never go to the bank account again. Hell yeah. Yeah, I kind of liked PayPal. I remember looking at PayPal showing that. AVGO, I'm still kind of inclined to think that could go one more time. One more time here. I don't like these 30-minute divergences, but I'm inclined. This is what I think is most probable for AVGO. Something like this. This gets you the sell-off after OpEx. It could easily be ABC pattern to get down there right now, though. But this is what I think, so I'll leave it there. So if you want to know what I think, I just drew it like this. That's like exactly what I think happens, but I'm not taking a play on it. I'm gonna treat it kind of like I'm on vacation and just be like, I'm just gonna wait for if the short shows up towards OpEx. If the reversal shows up on like near OpEx, I'm grabbing it for like I'm probably grabbing it until July OpEx. Apple, it looks like Apple looks really, really weak, honestly. You're starting to see like 5-minute, like you can get the 30-minute counter trend. So if you're still in like, hopefully if you're still in calls or something like that, right? You could potentially get like if you're still in it, right? You didn't manage the trade when you were supposed to manage the trade. Okay, right here and right here were the two managements of the trade. 1, 2. That was it. But if you're still in it, you're looking for another one of these just to get out, probably. Now this can easily turn around, but is this your setup? That's what you want to think about. No, you were late to manage a trade, comes down, 1, 2, 3. This is where it can come back, but you don't want to treat it like that a lot of the time. You'd want to be like, okay, I'm out, high or low, I'm back in. New trade. You're still in the old trade. This is the old trade. You need to get in the new one, which means you might need to reposition. The timing was off. Timing was off. Timing was off. Now it's back on. At least that's me. That's how I do things. We might be different. You should. Hopefully, you hopped on that Tesla drop. I have too much going on at home, but this was kind of what we were looking for: higher low or a divergence. But you get the higher low. We even mentioned it on Patreon. We were just like, it's just the buying's funky, but then you get that like burst, and you go, okay, we said 325, 325.50. We got there. So nothing really went wrong. It just looked wonky for a moment here. Rejection divergence. There's confirmation. 296.54. In meta. I'm not in meta. No, I'm not in meta. I would potentially get in meta. If I saw like this, like curl way down, and then I see that bounce, and then I see that roll, I could take this down to like a weekly expected move that week, and then we go to the weekly expected move early on in the week, and then I might have a trade set up for a divergence. I think that would be cool. But no, I think that you had signals for it with the monthly expected move. So I'm sure someone who's a part of the Patreon had confidence to take a meta put. And now you're looking at the area. So the reason that it's hard for me to say short is because this market's been resilient. And all that has to happen here is like meta holds up right in here and you're still good. So it's just like, it's too bullish. I want to see a downtrend. The only time that I'll take it is like if the SPY and the Qs are at the monthly expected move and then I see setups around the board. Yeah, I'll take it. I'm going to be very cautious calling like tops in this. Where do I think NVIDIA will be in July? I think it'll be in a lot of places. But I think the one place that it will be, it kind of depends. I personally think that NVIDIA will at least see 133.28 in July. The only problem is you're in that moment where if there's just a bunch of risky things being said, but no risky things happen, you could continue to squeeze like with 2-hour pullbacks for a very long time. Like this. Like this. That's pullback. There's pullback. You remain up for a very long time. That's over here. That's happening right now. Like if you see, it can extend for even longer if it wants to. We're doing it a little quicker, but it can still extend. So I'm not inclined to. I would utilize monthly expected moves. Like I said, once again, I'm looking for NVIDIA. If I wanted to take some kind of topping play for NVIDIA and say, hey, that's the moment we're going to 133. Okay, then I'm going to wait till we're at the monthly expected move in June before I do that. And I need to see all the reasons around that monthly expected move. Why no stream yesterday? We had a stream yesterday. I thought we did. Yeah, we had a. Oh wait, no, we didn't have a stream yesterday. No stream yesterday. Did we have a stream yesterday? I'm having a hard time being like, oh, did we have a stream yesterday? No, I know that I've been taking care of baby girl. I've had a lot of stuff going on with the family right now. Like I'm about to maybe have to hop off right now. Like I was about to say that because wife's getting sick again. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go check on her, guys. So I actually do probably have to hop off again now. I will have a YouTube video up later today. I would really just be paying attention to if there's 30-minute divergence formed right here. So anything like this, this is what you'd be a little bit fearful of, right? Towards end of day, you get to this type of area, maybe we go like this, right? But you're not really seeing that. You're still seeing that slow melt up kind of price action. So I would just pay attention to that. And then at the opposite side of that, you're looking at volatility. And anytime you see this MACD just go curl up into positive territory, you know, it starts to get really, really risky. As far as it stands, that's how I see it. That's how I'm seeing markets. And I think that's the best way to view them at this point is you need to squeeze or else you are at the point where you could make some kind of top like this today. So thank you guys for being here today. Thank you guys for joining. I know it's been a weird week, but next week, I told you guys, if you're part of Patreon, you're watching the videos, next week we'll be back to completely normal. So just be aware of that. Next week, the vacation got moved to August. So it will be completely back to normal next week. I know we're having kind of a rough week this week, but maybe next week we'll be turning down or something or going up into OpEx so we can do that together. All right. Thank you guys. Have a good day. Peace out.